fight. Get on up. Get on up. Look at that. Pup, get it, Silk. When to start the morning off with, we're going to be popping some corks, fishing dirty water, springtime water. We're going to go over why it's dirty and what you can do to get away from dirty water. Something we've been discussing here lately as those Pearl Rivers are high, as we got a lot of wind and cold fronts been coming through. Oh, there you go. A little throwback here. That's part of springtime marsh fishing. You're gonna get some keepers, some throwbacks. It's about a 50-50 ratio. What we're finding right now when we're fishing these shorelines, and what we're doing is we're casting way off the bank. I like to, right now we got a south wind, I like to get the boat on the leeward bank itself and then throw way out. So the boat might be only sitting in 1 foot to 2 foot of water, but we're fishing these corks in probably 4 to 5 foot, as I got that silky string on here where I can really cast it far. I get that wind in my back and really throw it out there a good ways. We came in here yesterday, did fairly well in the wind, caught several trout. You know, Barrett's using the 4 Horseman cork. I'm using the Matrix float. Caught several trout. Barrett even caught a flounder underneath the cork, which is pretty rare. Ran into a school of reds. And this is just a really good thing to do when you have really tough conditions out there. All right, so I got the Matrix float on here. It's got a titanium wire, some good brass beads. It's got that good click-clack sound. And when you're fishing a lot of stained water, a cork is extremely important, as it's already hard for the fish to see the lure. So you're just helping them find it by giving them some sound to go off of. So always have a cork in the arsenal whenever you're fishing dirty water, especially on some shallow shorelines like we're fishing today. Good one, that's a good one. Oh, that's why it feels kind of heavy. A little red. Caught several of these yesterday. Very common to have these mixed in with your trout bites. We're using that tiger bait right now. This is probably my favorite dirty water Matrix Shad color. See if we can get some more. Now we came up into a little ditch here, and all over, you know, a lot of times you'll catch your trout way out on the flats, and it's good to fish like the mouth of these ditches. But if you find one that's clean, it's got some grass on the banks, little, 4 to 7 foot of water, it's good to come in and maybe put on a jig head, jig the bottom, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes you can run into trout in reds like we just caught in the ditches, and then, fish on the outside a little bit later, a little bit earlier, fishing the shorelines, throwing out with the popping cork. And the corks will work in these ditches too. It just depends on how deep it is, whether or not you want to. Look at this, y'all. I think it's a gar. Oh, no, look at this big old catfish. Big old catfish. Look at that big old hammer there. Holy smolies. What's that, pups? What's that? That's good eating. I don't really feel like messing with it today, but that's good eating. Let's see. I'm going to have to need the net for this one. Big old blue cat. He knocked the snot out of that matrix shad. But you never know what you're going to catch in these ditches. We've been catching trout out front and some crazy creatures coming up in these ditches. Let's go ahead, head back out front and see if we can close out this episode of DockSide TV. There's old red dog. Have to chase this one down. Oh, Mr. Redfish. Got that matrix rod right here. Great long distance rod for making these long casts. It's a 7-footer, medium action, and it's got plenty enough power to control these big freight trains when you run into one. We're kind of fishing trout here, but there's several redfish mixed up as we come down these shorelines. Like I said, we caught several of them yesterday, had some really pretty slots. This one feels a little bit bigger than the ones we were catching yesterday. I'd be surprised if this one makes the slot, but we're about to find out. He's close. He's close. I just got a peek at him. And this is the same line we use for when we're crappie fishing. And look at it. It's not done yet, but it looks like it's going to get this redfish in the boat. Got to use your drag a little bit on this when we're using that silky string. As you're not going to be able to just winch these redfish in. I think this one's going to be in the slot. There he is right there. Nice pretty red. You kind of see how stained that water is. It's not horrid, but it's far from clean. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There we go. Nice little fight. Beautiful fish. Look at this, y'all. He engulfed that tiger bait matrix. I'm telling you, this is the best color we make for dirty water. That sucker's down the hatch right there. Just like that, guys. Don't be afraid of a little stain water. Move around. You want to be able to see your trolling motor head. If you can see your trolling motor, you're in plenty clean enough water to catch speckled trout and redfish like this right here. There we go, baby. That's what we're looking for here. This is what we're looking for right here. Get on up. Get on up. Look at that. Get him simple. Get him simple. All right, I'm going to close it out on this one. This is about the max size of what we've been seeing over here, popping these matrix floats and these tiger baits lately. That's a beautiful, beautiful fish. I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. How to avoid dirty water tuck back in some protected shorelines, some areas that have shorelines on every side to fight off those east and west and south winds. And you just find just clean enough water, you see your trolling motor. And if you fish it shallow, use a cork, help get those fish's attention. Get on some nice fish like that right there. Make sure to subscribe to the monthly bait box. You'll definitely be getting some tiger baits in there. You'll definitely be getting some matrix floats in there. Maybe if we have enough silky string, we'll throw you some of that in there. And get on these shorelines, make some long casts, and get on some beautiful trout like this right here, guys. Till next time, good fishing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you on the water.